I've known Jim Allen for some years, and we corresponded with him. And in fact, his first book used a bunch of illustrations from my early Lost Cities of Ancient Mysteries of South America book. His whole idea is that Atlantis was really here in the Altiplano and has to do with Tiwanaku, Lake Titicaca, and this vast lake, which is also now salt flats, called the Salar Uyuni. It's kind of a rare book. For those of you in the United States and Canada who want to get a copy, we do sell it with Adventures Unlimited. You can buy it from us. We imported a bunch of copies. In the UK, you might be able to get it from Amazon.co.uk, I suppose. So, in fact, we can kind of pass this around. So, Alan is thinking that also that Sumerians and Atlantis are somehow connected. And he makes a case as best he can that somehow the Altiplano is Atlantis. It's a great book, by the way, and he's a really great researcher, I think. I'm personally not so convinced that this is Atlantis, but it certainly is interesting. There are megaliths, and there was a cataclysm here, and all this stuff. So the other interesting thing he talks about in this book, which is similar to what I talk about in my book, is the whole idea of metallurgy here, that there are all these metals: gold, copper, tin, orichalcum, copper. He's saying in here that the orichalcum of Atlantis is a gold-copper mixture that was done here in the Andes, and that's probably a pretty good point. And orichalcum probably was something like that, this kind of reddish gold, copper gold mixture.
So we're here at the mud igloos, just on the coast of Lake Titicaca, on our way to La Paz. And in one of these igloos is a whole piece, really, a whole kind of display about Jim Allen's work on Atlantis in the Andes. Now you can see behind me there's a reconstruction of what Atlantis looked like according to Plato, going back to around 500 BC, and there's evidence up all around here that pieces this kind of shape of landscape within Bolivia, around the salt plains, further south from Tiwanaku and so forth. It's quite a compelling argument, but let's have a quick look at some of his research which he's got up in this actual place. So if you come and visit here in Bolivia, you can check it out for yourself. Classic Atlantis shape, and this is the shape Jim Allen seems to have found around this part of Bolivia he's been researching. He's even got images of Pampa Alugas village where some of the stones seem to be megalithic. Here's an example of some of the canals he believes were in a circular fashion going around the whole area. And over here we have some of the megalithic stones that were discovered in the area, which he believes was Atlantis. He makes that very clear. And these are kind of Tiwanaku, Pumapunku type stones. And there's Jim Allen there, the author, researcher, Englishman, who's been putting this whole theory together. And there he is again in this whole area. Now David Hatch-Childress and Brian Forrester will be going down there after this tour to do some investigating. We're actually planning to visit there on another tour in the future once we've met Jim Allen, had a look around, sussed it out. So it's pretty interesting that just here, just on the coast of Lake Titicaca in Bolivia, is this display, and it does really put into question where was Atlantis. Maybe it was Tiwanaku, maybe it was even Pumapunku, maybe it was Cuzco. And the fact, his placement of where it is, not too far from that particular area, does raise a lot of questions.